Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now, I realise that I'm a bit late to the party on this particular topic I'm going to talk about today, but you know what, a few people have asked me my opinion on it, so I thought I'd put it out there, join the debate as it were. Tonewood is what we're talking about. Does the timber that your electric guitar is made from have any bearing at all on the amplified sound of that guitar? Now, before I go into which side of the debate I'm on, let's just take a look at the counter-argument. People who believe that the tone wood, the wood, doesn't have any effect on the tone, will say, quite convincingly, I think, that because wood has no electrical or magnetic properties, it cannot possibly influence the electromagnetic output of a pickup. And as I say, that on the face of it, that's quite a convincing argument. You know, on the face of it, it doesn't appear to be a ridiculous point of view. I mean, there are plenty of ridiculous points of view out there. You know, apparently there are plenty of people here today in 2019 in the modern world who genuinely believe the earth is flat. There are even more people who genuinely believe that the position of the stars in the night sky on the date that you were born has a direct bearing upon your personality traits. And there are people who genuinely believe that it matters which way around you put jam and cream onto a scone. Again, clearly ridiculous. But the idea that because wood hasn't got any electrical or magnetic properties and therefore can't influence the electromagnetically generated sound of an electric guitar, that isn't on the face of it ridiculous. But if you go down that route, at some point you have to come up with an answer for this question. Okay, let's take a look at this style of guitar. And let's take one of these pickups and put it into this style of guitar. Now, if the timber or the woodworking methods used in the construction of the guitars make no difference to the tone, then surely both guitars will now sound identical. But experience teaches us that they won't. Why is that? Well, as it happens, I have a theory. Surprise, surprise. Here it is. Okay then, here is a rather hastily drawn diagram showing a cross-section of a guitar. I'm sure you can see what's happening here. Neck, body, strings, pickups, etc. Now, when the strings vibrate like this, well, at this point here, some of that vibration is going to transfer into the timber of the body via the bridge. Then that body timber is itself going to begin to vibrate a little bit. We know this happens. Strum an unplugged electric guitar, and if it's a particularly resonant guitar, then you will feel the vibrations in your ribcage coming through the timbre of the guitar. Now, this is just my theory, you understand, but I think it's reasonable to say that if the pickups are mounted into a piece of wood which is vibrating, then why wouldn't those pickups also begin to vibrate ever so slightly? And if they're vibrating, then that means they're moving relative to the strings. And it's this relationship, this relative movement between the strings and the pickups, which causes the actual amplified sound of the guitar to occur in the first place. So any variation in that is likely to have an effect. And I think this is the likely cause of the different types of wood that a guitar can be made of having different effects on the sound of that guitar. Some woods will transfer more vibrational energy into the pickups, some less, and that is the origin, I think, of the whole tone wood phenomenon. And okay, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, okay, I guess, but surely those infinitesimally small vibrations that are occurring to the pickups aren't going to make that big a difference to the sound. And you'd be right. But the thing is, as guitarists, we notice these very, very small and subtle differences. My missus is always forever asking me, why do you need so many guitars? And well, what I'll usually do is, and I'm trying not to get this video demonetized here, I'll pick up a mahogany set neck humbucker equipped guitar and play a few bars of melody about from a tune about some walkways in Paris. You know the one I'm talking about. And then I'll play the same thing on a Telecaster, and I'll go, so you see the difference? And she'll go, well, no, not really. Sounds the same to me. It's because she's not got the guitarist's ear. A good mate of mine, here's another example, a good mate of mine owned a pub for a while. And during the time that he owned the pub, he became quite the wine aficionado. Became something of a Jilly Goulden, to be honest with you, which we always tease him about. But, you know, I mean, for me, wine comes in two flavours, red and white. I buy wine based upon the alcohol content and the price tag. And red wine tastes like red wine, etc. But he can tell you the difference between a Cabernet Sauvignon or a Merlot or whatever else. I can't remember any other names of red wines. And, you know, and he can taste plums and burnt toffee and all manner of different things in it, or so he claims. To me, they all just taste like red wine. And that's the way that non-guitarists, like my missus, often view the sound of guitars. You know, they sound like guitars. But, you know, to anyone with the guitarist's ear, you can usually, I think, tell the difference between different types of guitars based upon many factors, one of which is the timbre that the guitar is made from. So there you go. That's my opinion on the on the whole Tonewood debate. I hope you found this somewhat enlightening, maybe interesting, and if you disagree with me or agree with me, please leave a comment down below. Also, in the description box, you will find this URL, which will take you to a page on my website where you can buy my Making the Modes Easy course. It's up on the Udemy platform now, and although it says $39.99, I'm getting reports of people who are finding it that it's quite heavily discounted there. So, you know, grab yourself a bargain. It's a course, as the name suggests, on making the modes easy. You get all the scale diagrams, plain English explanations, solo tabs with plenty of licks, close-up demonstrations of the solos, loads of jam tracks, everything that you need to become quite the expert on using modes in your lead guitar playing. Or if you prefer some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition in person, then give me a shout via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson in this very room. Or wherever else you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype, and whichever way you do it, your first lesson is free. So what have you got to lose? And with that, I will bid you a very good day, say thank you so much for watching, and I will look forward, as ever, to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.